It's obviously One Piece. It has just been probably the single most impactful thing I have ever consumed in my whole life. Movie, TV, album, and I love music. I'm not as big of a TV movie guy, but music is like my shit, man. And I think that I couldn't name an album better than One Piece cuz it's just that important to my life. It's that impactful. It gave me that much. I started watching One Piece my junior year of high school. To put it in perspective, I'm 22. I just graduated college and I've been caught up for a little bit over a year at this point, or honestly, maybe closer to 2 years. So I've been around the show for a while. And I originally started watching and getting into it just because all my friends were on it and I didn't want to get left out of the conversation. It's an amazing show. It's an amazing manga. I read personally because I'm a dork. And I don't know, I just felt like I needed to make this video kind of explaining everything it's given to me and maybe a little bit more. So I took a lot of breaks during my time watching One Piece. You know, I would read for a while or I would watch for a while and then I would stop and then I would like forget what episode I'm on or restart or have to like spoil something to try to figure out where I left off because I went too far in the future. But eventually, my sophomore year of college, maybe a little bit before that, it just kind of clicked and I started reading One Piece a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean like there were days I was putting in like 50, 60 chapters, just grinding. I would sit in my fucking classes, in the back of the class, on my laptop, reading free, it was like readonepieceonline.com or whatever. And I would just read it every day for months. It was entertaining. It was a good distraction from engineering and my hard ass classes. And I mean, I graduated high school during COVID, and so COVID lockdown and recovery was kind of the the beginning of my college experience. So I didn't have a lot of people to go see. I didn't have a lot of opportunities to meet people, and I had fucked up a lot. I basically isolated myself from the people that I had became friends with. And, you know, they were like, well, fuck you. Rightly so, in my opinion, you know. But I wanted to join a frat. I rushed, didn't get a bid, and didn't really know what to do with myself. So I just kind of got sad. And, you know, some other stuff was happening in my family at that time, too. It was kind of a double whammy, you know. There were days where I'd be like, wake up, go to class, read One Piece, go to the gym, and brush my hair. And that was pretty much all I would do. And I would watch Clint Stevens all day. Those were the two constants in my life. It was One Piece, or three. One Piece, Clint Stevens, and the gym. And I guess crying on the bathroom floor, talking to my girlfriend while she tried to do the adjustment to college herself at her school. And this show, I think, was just very helpful to me. It gave me something comforting, you know, gave me a sense of camaraderie, and it gave me a lot of things that I didn't expect too. You know, if the show's not entertaining, you stop watching the fucking show. But One Piece gave me friendships. It bolstered some of the friendships I already had. It was great when you could go up to somebody, and this is a little secret. Most engineering majors are nerds, and most nerds like anime. Most of the people that work out in industry that are younger are fucking nerds, and so it's something to talk about, you know, if you can figure out who is into it. But I didn't get into the frat. I didn't do the traditional thing, right? But it was always something that I wanted to do. It was a big motivator in why I went to the college that I went to. So I kind of had a decision to make. It was either suck it up, lock in, go again next semester, try to rush again, and, sure, you're a sophomore, you'll be pledging as a 19-year-old. There's a lot of things that weren't ideal about the situation, and I was very upset with the way it all went down. And so one of my very, very good friends, he joined one of these frats. He joined a frat the normal time, and he had a great experience. And, I kind of had thought about it, and it was one of those things where I could just say, it's not for me now, close that chapter, close that page of the book, close that page in the book, and, basically decide, on my own terms, okay, frat thing isn't for me. Or I run it back again, and realistically, if I get rejected again, there's not a third try. I mean, some people go out for a third try. Some people, they don't rush as a younger guy. They wait until they're a little older. But for me, 2 full weeks of going to different parties and meeting different people, only to have no one say that they want me to join the cool kids club, for that to happen twice, I think it's a sign that it just isn't for me, and that's more, rather than me self-selecting out, it's like being told to your face, you're not cool enough, or you're trying too hard, or whatever the reason is. Because when people reject you, whether it's a girl, whether it's a job application, nobody really tells you why. And if you ask, they're probably not going to be honest with you. So you just kind of gotta get up and shake it off. And that's what I did eventually, with a lot of One Piece chapters read and a lot of help from people that cared about me. And so I ran it back. And for anyone who's not familiar, Frat Rush is normally a week or 2 weeks. It'll have events, parties for you to go to. Some frats will do more structured things, like they'll have a house tour day, or they'll do like a barbecue. And I was at one of those events. I was at a barbecue, and I didn't really know what to do with myself. So I walked around. I played football with a dude who wound up also getting a bid to the frat and wound up becoming one of my closest friends, funny enough. But that doesn't help you get into the frat. Hanging out with other rushes, you need FaceTime with the guys that are in the clique. So I sat down at a park bench. Or I sat down at this lifeguard stand thing, like a bench. There was a guy sitting on the other end. And I was like, all right, I guess this is the time. We got to try to talk to the guy. You want to get into the frat, you got to see if you fit with the people. And so I went up, and he was just kind of doing, I think it was accounting homework on his laptop. He was at the event, but still trying to be productive. And eventually, I'm just sitting next to him, hanging out. He opens a new tab, and I look over, and it's Zoro's face on his Google Chrome theme. And I'm like, oh, dude, is that Zoro? And he's like, yeah, it's like I have like a whole One Piece Chrome. So like every time I open a tab, it's like a different character and stuff. And he starts telling me, and he's like, oh, dude, like One Piece, like you rock with One Piece. And through that conversation, I found out that, yeah, it turns out half this frat was anime heads. And it's the kind of thing where, as a frat guy who likes anime, you sort of have to know, you don't want to be the creepy scare the hose guy. So you have to be somewhat like tactful. You don't just bring it up willy-nilly. You only bring it up when you see something, or when you're only around the homies that know. So that was something. But more than that, I think it helped me reflect on my dreams too. It helped me reflect on my goals, my aspirations, and for anyone who's never seen the show, all the main character really, really wants is his real ideal is just to be free. And, I've thought about it a lot, and I think I want the same thing as him. I think I want the same thing as Luffy. Now, I'm a cis-het white guy who lives in the evil empire. So I have the freedom to do whatever I want, pretty much. For me, and that's not necessarily a good thing, but it is the situation that I'm in. So I want to be free to do stuff. I want to be free from things. I want to be free from social obligations. I don't want to make money for someone else. I don't want to build something that's not mine. I don't want to toil in an office. And I'm just thinking about all this stuff, and I'm thinking about, my path, and I'm thinking about like how I got here. And I got here basically through a series of like optimizations. I just picked the most optimized route. I went to the college I went to because it was the best college that I thought I could get into. I picked the major I did because it was the thing I was the most interested in that could make me the most money. And this was the structure. It was just how can I do the most, or how can I get the most by putting in the least? What's the easiest path? And now I'm here. I don't have a $120,000 tech job where I work 4 hours a week. I do not do that at all, man. I mean, I'm lucky I'm still somewhat in tech, but not dealing with computers. And life works out the way it does, so maybe that's where I'm supposed to be, right? But for like ever, I've been a survivor, not a thriver, if that makes sense. And maybe I could do a whole video about that at some point. But I'm the kind of guy who is going to pick a thing that is hard for me, and I'm going to ride it, and I'm going to fucking, I'm not put the whole effort in, and maybe it works out, and maybe it doesn't work out, because at the end of the day, like deep down, deep sunken in there, in the back of the skull, I don't think I could do it. So it's better to fail having tried half-assed than to fail and have tried full-assed. But Luffy wouldn't have made it off fucking out of Dawn Village, He wouldn't have made it. He wouldn't have made it out of the East Blue if he had that kind of thinking. And here's the thing. Looking back, these are all things I wanted, Generally, I get what I want. It works out for me. I don't have a lot of things to be upset about, but I still feel fucking bad. And I don't know what that means. But I've had more time to think, and I've been in a less stress-free environment, since I've been done school. And so Luffy wants to be king of the pirates. And he'll shout it. He'll shout it from the rooftops. So, you gotta be fucking 10 toes down. And here's the thing. If I set like a super lofty goal and I don't hit it, it's okay. As long as I'm, getting up every day and taking steps towards it and trying to think critically about it and not being too punishing. Because that's a thing that I think a lot of people do. I think it's easy to punish yourself when you fuck up. And that doesn't really motivate you, So I'm trying to just care about the right things and focus on making cool stuff and focus on working on building up a community, That's what I care about. And I think that can be what I care about. And it's not a bad thing to also say, then that's what I want to do. You know? Like, that's what I want to do as a career. And I'm sure the reality of it isn't what I think it is in my head. I mean, that's how college was. That's how getting a girlfriend was. That's how fucking joining a frat was. So, who knows? Who knows what that'll mean? I just think that if I'm gonna stand on anything, this will be the thing that I stand on. So, there it is. That's what freedom is, and, that's my dream, broadly. If you want a more King of the Pirates specific dream, and it's not even a dream, okay? Because here's the other thing. Luffy doesn't say, my dream is to be King of the Pirates. He says his name, and he says, and I'm gonna be. So, I'm Luke, Lucas G, twitch.tv/Lucas G, and I'm gonna be a full-time content creator. And I'm gonna win a streamer award in 2027. And I was gonna say I'm gonna kill Jay Schlatt, but, maybe we don't bring that one to fruition. So, that was our daily talk for the day. Still haven't come up with a name for this. I mean, who knows? We'll figure it out eventually. Keep grinding, and tune into the stream. I take my chain, my 15 seconds of fame, then come back next year with the whole fucking game.